The border crisis is getting a massive military response. 1,500 troops, including 500 Marines from Camp Pendleton, have been deployed to secure our southern border. Military cargo planes are already conducting deportation flights with capacity to remove 5,000 illegal aliens in record time. The U.S. Catholic Church is speaking out, but Trump's administration isn't backing down. Tom Homan's leading the charge, utilizing Air Force aircraft to accelerate the process. This is the most aggressive immigration enforcement action in American history, and it's happening in just 5 days into Trump's presidency. And while we're securing our nation's borders, it's time to secure your retirement against foreign market threats. Just as military aircraft are protecting our sovereignty, Global Gold Investments protects your wealth from economic instability. Don't let foreign interference compromise your financial security. Call that number on the screen, 888-700-4148, and receive our 2025 Protect Your Wealth and Retirement Guide. Mention Next News for a complimentary portfolio analysis and up to $1,000 in free silver for January rollovers. Like our Marines defending our border, let us defend your financial future. Okay, let's have some fun. This was posted by Nancy Pelosi's liver on X. The White House confirms deportation flights with military-style aircraft. It has started. On the left, smile for a group photo. There they are. Oh, and the picture on the right, of course, that's not actually happening, but it does reflect the sentiment of many people. And we're just finding out there's a new bill proposed in Mississippi. It would pay $1,000 to bounty hunters for each successful deportation of an illegal that they help facilitate. Here's a local report on that. You won't hear this anywhere in the mainstream press.
Bill that would allow certified bounty hunters to assist in identifying and reporting undocumented immigrants was introduced in the Mississippi House of Representatives. The bill, proposed by the DeSoto County District Attorney and authored by State Rep. Justin Keene, would create the Mississippi Illegal Alien Certified Bounty Hunter Program. This program would offer a $1,000 reward to registered bounty hunters for each successful deportation they help facilitate.
Okay, where's Dog? Where's Dog the bounty hunter? Yeah, he's putting his boots on right now. And we're finding out this from Johnny Maga 4 hours ago. ICE agents raided a seafood market in Newark, New Jersey, fingerprinting and serving numerous people court dates, arresting 3 with no paperwork whatsoever. Naturally, the mayor came out and said he's appalled.
They went in the back of the establishment. We believe that there were 3 people who they say were undocumented that they detained, but they also detained folks that were, in fact, citizens of this country. One person showed their military veteran identification and was still questioned anyway. People were fingerprinted. Pictures of their IDs and face were taken there. When I got this information, I was appalled, upset, angry that this would happen here in this state, in this country, that this would be allowed. Since we said something about it, I convened my folks. I said, we can't just let this happen and not say anything, that we at least have to say something. And so we did. And here we are. And as a result.
Yeah. And we're also seeing something and saying something. Johnny Maga says they have no power to stop it. All they can do is whine. And then we have this, of course. This was from our report yesterday, but it bears repeating because this man, Bill de Blasio, the former New York City mayor, he's part of the problem.
Democrat. And joining us now is former New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. Mayor, good to have you here. Lots of moving parts, obviously, on this issue of immigration. When you look at the buildup, the ramp up to these mass deportations, how should Democratic, local, state, federal leaders meet this moment?
Anna, I think we got to remember the Constitution is still fully in effect, and that means that states and localities have a lot of power in this equation. I think there's been so much angst over the Trump administration coming in certain quarters, obviously among Democrats. There's almost been a little amnesia about what we saw in the previous 4 years. I spent 4 years as mayor of New York City, often having to challenge Donald Trump. We went to court many times. We actually won on a regular basis. We had the independent power as a locality to govern our own affairs. And this is a profoundly American reality. The founders created a country where a lot of the power devolved down to states and localities. They did not want a national government that controlled everything. So, for example, if you have a city like New York that says, we're not going to ask documentation status in our schools, hospitals, or with our police force talking to people out in the streets, they're not going to ask documentation status because that's how we actually keep people safe. Talk to NYPD leaders and they'll tell you, once you start asking people documentation status, no one's going to talk to you if they happen to have an undocumented status. And that means you can't protect the community.
And joining us.
You can't protect the community. That's exactly what Donald Trump is doing. Here we have, this was another important point. Federal agents carrying out raids, arresting people in apartments across Boston.
Apartment building. This afternoon, NBC 10 saw multiple unmarked SUVs here. 5 people, some wearing vests that said police federal agents on the back, went inside one of the apartment buildings. 2 agents waited outside, 1 person taken into custody that we saw. Whether this is connected to President Trump's effort to root out illegal immigrants, something he has promised to do, is unknown. We also saw federal agents at a building on Lexington Street, also here in East Boston. A witness there told us she saw 1 person arrested. There's roughly 11 million undocumented people around the country. President Trump has said the priority is finding and deporting those with criminal backgrounds.
Yes, let's go, baby. Let's go. The Iceman is here. Who can ever forget this footage here?
I'm not going back to Haiti. One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
Yeah, thank Obama for everything that he did for me. And what else have we got for you here? We had some footage. Where was it? Okay, majority of Americans actually support deporting all illegal aliens, according to multiple polls.
But I really think you see documented immigrants. So we have slightly different questions, but these were all taken within the last month. And there's real uniformity here. That's what I really think you see. You see real uniformity. Deported all immigrants who are here illegally. 55% of the New York Times. Marquette, 64%. CBS News, 57%. ABC News with a slightly different question, 56%. So what you're seeing essentially here is a very clear indication that a majority of Americans, in fact, when they're asked this blunt question, which I believe gets at the underlying feelings, do in fact want to deport all immigrants who are here illegally. There's no arguing with these different numbers because they're all essentially the same across 4 different pollsters.
So if they say yes today-ish, how has that changed over time?
Yeah, this is where I think you get very interesting. And so we'll take a look at that ABC News question in particular because you can really see that there's been a massive shift from when Trump was first getting into office 8 years ago, right? Deport all undocumented immigrants. You go back to 2015, I'm going to come to your side of the screen, it was 42%. Hello. Go to 2016, it was 36%. Look at where we are now. This was taken at the end of last year, 56%. This is 20 points higher than it was just before Trump got into office the first time. So feelings towards immigration in this country, feelings towards undocumented immigrants and deporting all of them have become considerably more hawkish. And I think that gives Donald Trump much more leverage to go with the American people and sort of have these hawkish, some might say harsh, different rhetoric and also issue-based sort of going after immigrants who are here illegally. And so I think the American people are going to give Donald Trump the benefit of the doubt to do what he wants to do, at least if you believe these blunt questions, including this one.
How about immigration levels?
Yeah, okay. So this sort of goes in line with that, right? Which is, again, trying to get at the underlying feelings. Want immigration levels decreased. This includes legal and illegal immigration. Look at this. Last year, 55%. That is the highest level since the 9/11 aftermath. You go back just to 2020.
And this, again, legal and
Legal
illegal.
and
So they
illegal.
people want less people coming into the country.
Exactly. They want less people coming into the country. Look at that. That's a 14-point rise from 2023. You go back to 2016 when Donald Trump again was running for president the first time, it was 38%. That's a 17-point rise. So the bottom line is more folks want people who are here illegally deported, and their overall feelings towards immigration have become considerably more hawkish since Donald Trump was first getting in office.
Oh, yeah, baby. Bring it on. In Chicago, people are fed up.
Trump to come in here and get you all sit up there and say it.
Now this is the Chicago City Council, and this young woman here is excoriating Brandon Johnson.
You will not allow Trump to come in here and get these illegals. Yeah, you can smile. We're in $1 billion deficit. And you spent half of our money, half of that on illegals. You campaign and double down that you will not raise property taxes.
I won't raise your property taxes.
You wanted to raise our taxes $300 million. They shut it down. Now we back here for $150 million. Okay. See, this is what we asking now. Since you want to crash out, some of y'all say y'all willing to go to jail for it. Trump, Tom Homan, make an example out this right here first. Please come here first. Spend our tax dollars.
Yeah, baby. Come here first and arrest Brandon Johnson. Illegals are now telling people on TikTok to spit and do unseemly things on ICE agents' food. I don't even know if I want to play this, but let's play it.
Okay, I'm making this video for everybody that has parents or family members that are immigrants, illegal immigrants that might be, hopefully not, but could be facing this ICE raids. We should try to make it as much as uncomfortable for the ICE agents as possible. Let me tell you how to make it very uncomfortable. If you know any ICE agent, any person that works for ICE, or you see a group of them going to lunch, dinner, breakfast to a restaurant you're working at, and you have...
Oh, you know where he's going with this. Just read it there. Just read it there. Read it on the screen. Do not endorse this behavior at all, but this is the kind of stuff that's floating around on TikTok right now. Here's Charlie Kirk interviewing Mark Wayne Mullen on the ICE deportations. ICE knew exactly where these illegal alien murderers were located. Joe Biden refused to enforce the rule of law.
To get a second, Senator, right now we have this amazing trajectory when it comes to immigration. Let's play cut 106. Tom Homan confirming the worst people in America that are here illegally are being deported. Play cut 106.
What would a person have to do to get a visit from ICE?
Well, for it to be in the country illegally, first of all, I mean, there's nothing in the immigration law that says you got to be convicted of a serious crime to be removed under the INA. So if you're in the country illegally, ICE can visit you. But right now, as we said repeatedly, and the President Trump's been clear, we're concentrating on the worst first, the public safety threats and national security threats. And just yesterday, in the last 24 hours, ICE arrested over 308 serious criminals. Some of them were murderers. Some of them were rapists. Some of them raped a child. Some were sexual assault of a child. So ICE is doing their job, and they're prioritizing just as the president said they would. So the ICE is performing excellent right now out in the field, and they're going to continue every day.
Senator, your reaction to the rapid pace at which this administration is moving when it comes to the invasion?
Now, here's the craziest thing, Charlie. Keep in mind, these individuals, ICE knew where they were at, and they were openly still walking on our street underneath the Biden administration. The Biden administration refused to pick them up. On day one, President Trump went and rounded up more serious criminals and murderers than the Biden administration did in 4 years. Keep in mind, these individuals were out on the streets and ICE knew exactly where they're at. That's why they were able to do it on day one. What they're also not telling there is they also went into the prisons and arrested, ICE arrested and started the deportation of an additional 300 murderers and rapists that was in our prison systems. That once again, the Biden administration knew they were there and they chose to leave them inside the United States. It really blows your mind to think that the administration, that the outgoing president of the United States underneath Biden refused to enforce the rule of law. I heard from several border agents that I've become friends with my trips to the border that all came back and they said the same thing I said earlier today. It's a new day in America when they're actually able to do their job, and the morale increased by 1,000% yesterday with our border patrol just because we have a new sheriff in the White House.
There's a new sheriff in town, everybody. And here is New York City Mayor Eric Adams saying that the New York Police Department will aid in mass deportations.
So the new administration mentioned massive ICE raids.
Massive.
Will these ICE raids happen in New York City, and will the NYPD be cooperating with ICE on raids to find undocumented migrants?
Again, I answered that over and over again, and I'm not going to keep doing the same questions over and over again about the cooperation of city agencies. The law is the law. Get the next question.
The law is the law. Here we have a lunatic school teacher in Chicago says that she is going to push back on ICE. Oh boy, it's not going to end well for her.
It would ICE in Chicago with my students? No, for all, I've gotten a whole bunch of messages from people like, and I'm so appreciative of you. But baby, it would never. You think I'd be scared of you trying to come up in my school? You don't think I already have a plan and a backup plan and 56 doors in the building and 17 routes on how to get to each one and backup on backup on backup of contacts to make sure that their parents aren't the ones showing up? I mean, no offense, the district can give us training on what we're supposed to do over and over and over again, and they have, by the way. But I got my own plan. Because there's no way. There's no way. Yeah, ever touching one of my kids. Ever. Never. Never touching one of my students. And never. Hello, God. Someone needs to talk to you because that's who you're going to talk to first before you ever touch one of my kids. Because I don't play about mine. And never have. And if you've been around for a while, you know that. Baby, I've written a manifesto up here on what I would do. ICE in Chicago with my...
Good luck with that manifesto, honey. Good luck with that. Here's another one. I'm not going to lie. He says the deportations of illegal immigrants has riled my emotions. I truly agree. We need to stop getting in the way of ICE. When they want a criminal, give them up. Bad acts have consequences.
Versus people that elections have consequences. That is a famous quote from Barack Obama, and that's one thing he was truthful about. We all live through the consequences of having Joe Biden and Kamala Harris running our country. Many people preferred those that would lie to them versus people that would give them the hard truth. That's for another conversation. As Trump has re-entered the White House for his second term after a convincing victory given to him by the voters, we know that for those that are here illegally, there will be consequences. It's a touchy subject, especially if you're Mexican, Latino, or Hispanic, whatever you prefer. There are a lot of people that do come here with good intentions. Many of us were blessed to be born here because a family member in our past took that chance. What we have to remember, though, is the border problem of the 40s, 50s is not the same border problem from 2021 to 2025. We aren't just talking about Mexicans, Latinos, or Hispanics. People from all over the place came in through our open southern border. Did you know that about 380 or so people on a terror watch list were apprehended at the border? Did you know that there were more than 2 million people that got away, meaning no one ever made contact with them? No one knows who they are. Would you bet that some of those 2 million have bad intentions? I would.
Yeah, and so would I, my friend. So would I. We got more to get to. The military is there protecting the border. Check out this. 8 hours ago, this was posted. Look at those Ospreys. There they are. And then we've got this. Tom Homan says he's using military aircraft to accelerate the deportations.
Force. You have been offered the assistance of the United States military for airlift support as part of this program. The United States Air Force is going to supply 4 aircraft to remove up to 5,000 aliens that are already, I believe, being detained by CBP. How is this going to help you? Is this a necessary, or do you find this necessary, or this is just icing on the cake of getting these illegal immigrants out of the United States?
Absolutely necessary. We have limited funding right now, so anything DOD can step in and do this is a force multiplier. Whatever DOD does, whether it's building infrastructure, whether it's flying planes, doing transportation, that means an ICE badge and gun is not stuck with those type of duties. They can actually be on the streets looking for the bad guy. So we're going to try to contract a lot of this work out, have DOD do the stuff that doesn't require immigration authority, have them do that job to release the immigration officers out on the street to arrest the criminal aliens. So yeah, this is in plans for a while. We made this happen in a matter of 3 days. So yeah, they're welcome a force multiplier for us, and it's going to help us a great deal, especially on removal flights.
The removal flights, my friends. Here they are. The United States Marines have arrived at the southern border to stop the illegal invasion. There's the footage right there. 1,500 troops, including 500 Marines from Camp Pendleton, were deployed to the U.S. border by the Trump administration. This is just the beginning. We're learning that there's actually 10,000 troops that are going to be heading to the southern border. The party is over for the illegals. And this is something that I've been saying for a while, because the mainstream media is going to continue to perpetuate this lie that Donald Trump is some authoritarian dictator and he has no care for humanity. So in doing so, they're going to show video of crying illegals being deported all day long to pull at your heartstrings. Well, here is Tom Homan warning the same.
We're going to take a lot of hate. We're going to be sued every day, numerous times. I think you're going to see the left try to control the media. They're going to show the first crying female, first crying child, and say how inhumane we are. But they won't talk about 340,000 children that they've failed to take care of. They're not going to talk about the young women who have been murdered in this country at the hands of criminal cartels. They're not going to talk about the hundreds of angel moms and dads who buried their children. You want to talk about family separation? They buried their children because their children were killed by a member of a criminal cartel or someone that's not supposed to be here. They'll tell one side of the story. They'll try to vilify us, but they're not going to stop us from doing our job. I don't care what the media says about me. If they saw what I saw in 34 years, saw the tragedies I've dealt with in 34 years, they would certainly understand me. They may not still like me, but there's a reason why we do what we do. Yeah. I'm tired of women being raped, making that journey. I'm tired of dead children. I'm tired of women and children being sex trafficked. On this administration, sex trafficking is up 600% of women and children. We have a record number of people on the terrorist watch list being arrested. Historic record, 3,500% increase. Record number of Americans dying of fentanyl. We got a record number of cartel members that have entered this country. You know, the criminal cartels in Mexico making more money than they've ever made in smuggling aliens, trafficking in women and children, and moving dope. So hate all you want. Push the misinformation out all you want. We're not going to slow down. We're not going to go away. We're going to get this done.
Yeah, baby. We're going to get it done. Get it done. Trump deportation flights have begun. Take a look at that picture on your screen right there. A bunch of illegals getting loaded into military transport planes for deportation. And also this, I wonder why, the New York police, they've announced that for the first time in 30 years, there were 0 shooting victims reported in New York City over a 5-day period. That's an interesting little note, wouldn't you say? Yes, the Trump administration is on the case. But here's the Catholic Church. They're speaking out against President Trump's immigration policies. Let's hear what they have to say.
To many of these. Is the Catholic Church in the United States taking a formal position on President Trump's immigration policies in recent days?
We are. We think we have to speak to many of these policies, which
we see as going against some of the basic tenets of our faith, frankly. The fundamental right of every human person that need to be respected no matter their origin, no matter their situation.
What is the strategy for the church in the United States, if any, in terms of dealing with this administration beyond the immigration issues this week? Do you have a big picture 4-year approach to how you're going to handle this moment?
Well, I think all of us are in the church and without are looking to see what shape this administration takes and what positions they actually land on. I don't think any of us knows exactly, but things have come into a clearer light in regard to the immigration questions right now, and so we're responding to those.
Is the Vatican paying close attention to what's happening here in the U.S. and Pope Francis? Are they keeping tabs on this through the conference, and do they expect...
I'm just going to pause this real quick because, why is it even any of the Catholic Church's business how we enforce our laws? They're trying to paint this as some inhumane action by President Trump. But they're not talking about the inhumanity of the cartels and the horrific things that happen to these people as they're being transported across the border through the trek. No. This whole clip right here is designed to make you think, we need to consult with the Vatican. We need to consult with the Pope. No, you don't. Maybe ask them why they have such big walls over there at the Vatican. Ask them that question. I'm not even going to give this clip any more airtime because it just doesn't deserve it. Caroline Leavitt explained that President Trump is sending a strong, clear message. Illegal entry to the U.S. will have severe consequences. Illegal aliens are being transported out on military cargo jets as fast as they are caught. Look at that.
Hay mucha migra y todos están cayendo. No les recomiendo cruzar porque hay un chingo de...
They shouldn't have come here. Listen, they shouldn't have come here. They shouldn't have come here illegally. Bottom line. What's this guy got to say here?
Going to get free food? Did you know that when the Mexicans are deported from the United States and they go back to Mexico, they're going to get free rent and they're going to get free food? On Mexican state national news in Spanish in Mexico, they just announced, because the ones that are being deported say they're broke, that they're going to get free rent, a place to live, and free food. And the locals are pissed. In the comments section, it blew up, and they let everybody know how they feel. They said, those are the criminals that went over there. Now they're going to come back, and the crime's going to come back. And you're going to give them free rent and free food? What happened to all the money that they had over there when they were doing all of their social media, saying, look at what I got with my little debit card, and they were buying all that stuff? Eating shrimp and lobster all the time, and now they're coming back saying we broke, and the government's like, okay, we'll help you out so you can get back on your feet, and the locals are not having it. They don't want them to have all that. They don't want their tax dollars to go to them. Wow. They don't want to feed them, they don't want to house them, and they don't want the crime to come back. What the fuck? Yeah.
Wow. U.S. Marines, here's more video of the U.S. Marines arriving at the border with Mexico. Look at that. Here we go, baby. America in action. This is the consequence of Joe Biden's administration. Years of inaction, ignorance, and dereliction of duty. And now we finally have a president who is taking action as it should be. Oh, and we found some video of what is going to happen at the Home Depot tomorrow.
I'm not going to ruin this. They think they're coming over to my house to fix my deck. What they don't know is that we're not going to my house. We're going somewhere else. I'm not going to ruin the surprise, but we'll be there in a minute. I just swerved. Sorry. You guys okay? Estás perdido, güey.
¿Vas a comprar comida?
Okay, yeah. I don't know what the fuck you just said. Macarena! Something like that. I don't know. So we're almost there. Get ready for this. ¡Ines! ¡La migra! ¡La migra! There's 6 of them right here! I got them! I got them! That's so much. They think.
Oh, man, that's classic. That's a classic one right there, isn't it? Now, my friends, the deployment of the U.S. Marines and military cargo planes marks a historic shift in border enforcement. Within days, Trump's administration has achieved what seemed impossible: immediate deportations, military presence, and a clear message that illegal entry has consequences. The coordination between ICE, the Marine Corps, and the Air Force demonstrates the full might of American sovereignty in action. Now, critics claim it's too aggressive, but supporters see it as necessary to restore order. So here's what everyone is asking. If this level of enforcement was always possible, why did previous administrations let the crisis just spiral out of control? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Should we have mobilized the military at the border years ago? Stand strong with our exclusive MAG Avengers collection at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. It is linked down below.